Looky here, boys. We got the new fit. Massive thank you to everyone who contributed to the search for this shirt. It's a nice shirt, man. But anyways, let's get into World Cup qualifiers, shall we? Path A was the last remaining avenue to Qatar for European countries. Wales had already defeated the Austrians in March, so now it came down to Ukraine versus Scotland in Glasgow. Ukraine hadn't played a qualifier since October of 2021. Also, some of their players featured in the domestic league, which was cancelled in late February due to, And yet it didn't look like that at all. The Ukrainians started off brilliantly, while the Scottish looked extremely disorganized.
Get that son of a bitch off the field right now. Out. He's fired. He's fired!
Roman Yaremchuk early on in the second half doubled Ukraine's lead. Scotland started to look a little more competent after John McGinn. I spoke too soon.
Is it worth it? Is it worth going through this anguish every week?
Finally, after multiple attempts, Callum McGregor gave Scotland a lifeline. However, right at the death, Ukrainian Premier League top scorer Artem Dovbyk killed off the game. So the final in Path A would be between Wales and Ukraine in Cardiff. Ukraine again started well, but if it's one thing you don't do in the international game, it's give Gareth Bale a free kick. His excellent delivery to Andriy Yarmolenko gave Wales the lead. And from there, the mission was to simply survive. Ukraine came within a whisker away on multiple occasions, but keeper Wayne Hennessy came in clutch, making 9 saves. And because of his heroics, Wales qualified for the World Cup for the first time since 1958. Gareth Bale will have his time to shine on the world's biggest stage. Madridistas in shambles. Ukraine, on the other hand, miss out, but again, their efforts should be commended after all they've suffered and continue to suffer. All we can hope is that this horror ends soon, because in war, no one wins. Hey guys, so recently BCHD has returned to uploading. I know, let's give him a round of applause. 7 months in the making.
I am back! What it do, baby?
But I recently linked up with him on some Mario Strikers and he made a video out of it, and it is fantastically produced. Fight and win. Come on, San Mario. No, I'm feeling the atmosphere. Okay. So please check it out and be sure to subscribe to BCHD. Asian qualifiers weren't necessarily done yet either, with the playoff round between Australia and the UAE. We'd have to wait all the way until the 53rd minute for Australia to open the score through Jackson Irvine. However, the Emiratis replied just 4 minutes later through Caio Canedo. On a completely different note, Caio was one of the 7 Brazilians who falsified documents to play for East Timor.
You're a fraud!
East Timor national team.
Then 84 minutes played, a cruel deflection off Aiden Hrustik's cleanly struck volley gave Australia the winner. So then came Judgment Day almost a week later, a one-match intercontinental playoff between Peru and Australia. Through the first half, both teams played very cautious. Peru maybe a little too cautious. Australia were surprisingly looking like the better team. They were creating better quality chances, and the defense turned Andre Carrillo into Peru's version of Nicola Pepe. The second half didn't see much change, despite the Fox commentators saying there'd be some massive Peruvian game-changing team talk at halftime. Although again, it'd be the Aussies with the best chances. So then came extra time, where Peru took a bit more urgency and had the best chance of the game, unfortunately denied by the post. So after 120 minutes played, the game would go down to a penalty shootout, and a very nervy one at that. Australia's Martin Boyle was the first to take his penalty and had his shot saved by Pedro Gallese. Now, right before the penalty shootout, Aussie head coach Graham Arnold had taken off keeper Matt Ryan for Andrew Redmayne. And you might ask yourself, who the f is Andrew Redmayne? Andrew Redmayne is a goalkeeper for Sydney FC, known for his antics, if you will. Back in 2019, during a penalty shootout, his dancing put the opposing penalty takers into a daze, and Sydney FC became champions of Australia. So here he was now, with the nation's hopes on his shoulders, and he began to dance.
Lapadula scores!
Maybe next time. Aaron Moy was up next, and he scored Australia's first.
Has scored.
I'm starting to think that this might not be working. Luckily, Craig Goodwin did his job, and then Peru's Luis Advincula, seemingly hypnotized by the dance master, hit the post. So with the score all level, Frankfurt's Aiden Hrustik scored for Australia, followed by Renato Tapia leveling the score for Peru. Both teams scored on their 5th attempts, which meant sudden death. Substitute Awer Mabil stepped up and buried his penalty. Then up came Alex Valera to keep Peru alive, but the Fortnite emote man said no. Andrew Redmayne sends the Australians to to the World Cup.
He's a piece of shit.
A shock result for many who believed Peru were the favorites, but as we've seen time and time again, odds only mean so much when World Cup qualification is on the line. Andrew Redmayne will forever go down as a legend, just like Aloisi back in 2005. May we hopefully see him do the take the L dance after saving an Mbappe penalty. Costa Rica versus New Zealand was our other intercontinental playoff, and this would determine the very last remaining spot in Qatar. In just 2 minutes, Costa Rica opened the score with their first attack through Joel Campbell, assisted by one of Costa Rica's promising talents. From there, the game plan was to sit back and soak up pressure. However, New Zealand equalized in the 38th minute, only for VAR to call it back. I don't know, man. For me, it doesn't really look like a penalty. He has his hand on his knee, but in no way can that generate enough momentum to take someone down like that. In the second half, the All Whites went down to 10 men, and not even a minute later, a Costa Rican player elbowed a New Zealand defender, and nothing was called. In fact, Winston Reid was the one who was booked after the play. New Zealand were surprisingly playing some of the best football I've seen from them in a long time, but unfortunately the man between the sticks was Keylor Navas. The Costa Rican shot stopper made 4 huge saves, and because of the hero himself, Costa Rica go to the World Cup for a 3rd straight time. And just like that, the World Cup is now set. So let's go look at the group, shall we? Group A, we have host Qatar, the Netherlands, Senegal, and Ecuador. Speaking of Ecuador, this man probably can't enter at least 2 or 3 countries now in South America. Group B features England, the US, Iran, and now the qualified Wales. Group C features Argentina, Mexico, Poland, and Saudi Arabia. Group D, France, Denmark, Tunisia, and the now qualified Australia. Group E features Spain, Germany, Japan, and Keylor Navas' Costa Rica. Group F, Belgium, Croatia, Morocco, and Canada. Group G gives us 2018 yet again with Brazil, Serbia, and Switzerland, and the addition of Cameroon. Finally, we have Group H, Portugal and Uruguay, who faced in the round of 16, and then South Korea and Ghana. It's gonna be an exciting World Cup. We'll just have to wait a couple more months, and I can't wait to do the first group stage preview and group stage review. Fun times ahead, man. I'm gonna do the patrons on a voiceover because right now I just lost internet, so it's a bit tough. So a massive shout out to all our patrons, including Jason TD, Janos Balash, Florian Lengel, Emilio009, Alex Rod, Olybium, Amine Suamez, Antonio, Arnulfo Martinez Jr., Daniel Ortiz, Darkwolf476, Edgar AS, Francisco Hernandez, Jax206, Joseph Bonfante, Juan Leras, Kev FM, Nguyen Mintang, Parafocus, Rory Byrne, The Motor Drive, Tomicus, Trevor Batson, Triple G Cave, Vanilla Mexican 17, Victor, Ariel El Flor, Chris Damasceno, Declan Malloy, Emmett Shea, Lewis, MX Weeb, Piano, President Pulisic, Tom Little, and Unbroken Persona. If you'd like to join the Patreon, there'll be a link down below in the description and up in the annotations. You can follow my Twitter if you'd like, follow my Instagram if you want, follow my TikTok, trying to get to 10,000 there, and of course you can follow my semi-active Twitch. But until then, I'll see you guys.